There we go.
Showtime.
It's showtime. All right, guys, welcome to episode 106 of the Drag Drive Repeat show presented by Summit Racing. Big list of stuff tonight. We've got Rowdy Radial racer Donavan Linwood on talking about his newly rebuilt Mustang, destined to take it out to Mega Week. Excited about that. We've got updates on the circuit block party and the valve cover races, rules and designs during that. That's going to be awesome. And then we've got a ton of stuff that we're going to cover with streetcar bragging rights. And we've got Richard Flint, who's backstage right now eating pizza. And he's going to talk about how he picked up 50 horsepower with the same tune and how you can do that as well. So it's going to be kind of fun. Mr. Eric, let's hit that intro and let's go, man.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys, you know the deal. I'm Mike Narks. I want to say welcome in here to episode 106 of the Drag Drive Repeat show presented by Summit Racing. I'm your host of this show and the Drag Drive Repeat news that happens on Saturdays. Crazy stuff going on this week, man. Mr. Eric White, my right-hand man over here. Tell them what you got going on.
I am Eric White, co-host of both the show and the news. Anything Drag Drive Repeat related, artwork, intro videos like you just saw. The circuit related, again, more artwork over there. Mm-hmm. Artwork for other events, other drag and drive events. You'll probably see some of my stuff there. And in the little bit of free time I have outside of that, I run Motorsports Paparazzi, which is on a huge month of growth on YouTube. What did I send you today? 2.2 million views in 28 days and 806 new subscribers. So pretty cool there. And then also 815 LSX swaps. So
busy man, and he's going on a trip this weekend, taking his wife out of town. Going to be a great time. So I may be looking for a Saturday morning Drag Drive Repeat News co-host. Somebody out there wants to jump in and do that as well. We can definitely talk about that. Well, guys, listen, we can't do this without you. I need a favor. I need you to go hit the share button right now. This show is going to be packed with race car friends all night long and a ton of drag and drive updates. So just want to say thanks for being our race car friends and being out there. We appreciate you guys and our sponsors, man. We can't do this without them. Summit Racing, Deech Works, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, WAF Racing, Performer Built Transmissions, Car Change 3D, Power Tube TV, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk Classified. Y'all, if you're trying to spend some money on some car parts or some super sweet swag, jump in there, get your stuff at any of those spots right there. And then Summit Racing Speed Legacy began in 1968 as a one-man startup and is now the world's speed shop with 4 huge facilities and 200 plus catalog editions. They fuel your passion, they save you money, they deliver fast, and offer top-notch customer service for more than 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app for easy access to speed parts. You can find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram for hilarity that just ensues all the time. Justin Wiedemann is an animal over there. You can also find them on the On All Cylinders podcast for automotive discussions like what we got right here. From humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. Find it all at summitracing.com or on the app. And while you're in there, I'll make you a deal. The first 5 people I see at Rocky Mountain Race Week, Mega Week, or Eric sees at Six Summer that is wearing a Drag Drive Repeat shirt You're going to get $20 in your hand. Whoosh. We're going to basically pay for your shirt and a big old hug and an exclusive sticker you can't even buy anywhere else. We're not even going to sell these ever. We're going to be giving them to folks that are wearing this. So when you are making that Summit Racing order, jump in there, grab that, and get a big old hug from your Eric. You'll want that by the end of the week,
And we still have Race Car Friends shirts on
Yep.
our website as well. So
Yep. Kicking butt, taking names over there. Those things go out several times a week. Appreciate everybody that's purchasing those. And then let's talk about some drag driver Pete updates. I drove the old truck today. Man, there's nothing more fun than kids being in the back seat of a minivan and they're looking at you and you just give them the old blow off valve. You know what I mean?
stomp on the loud pedal.
It's heartwarming, man. So I drove it. It was just across town. It's like 30 minutes worth of driving, 8 miles, something like that. It was great. It made it. I didn't even take like my gauges or OBD2, like I just use them on my phone. I didn't even take that. I was like, nah, I'm 4 miles from the house. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I can limp it that far. But a lot of stop and go traffic, a lot of breaking necks today, man. It was awesome. Had all kinds of people looking and stuff like that.
How are the tires? They still good?
They're still great because we got to get through Mega Week.
Okay.
So I didn't want to kill them. But that's coming. If we come back and they're not slick by the end of Mega Week, I'm going to fire Steven. And then you had some cool stuff go on too. So tell us what happened in your life, man.
Yeah, so obviously you guys know that the photos from Hot Rod Drag Week of Dave Hart's car were in the Summit Racing catalog. So I had held back of posting any of his car in any of the albums. So what I went ahead and did was posted an entire album of just his photos. So I think there's 150, 160 photos in this album just of his car. And if you wonder how many pictures it takes to get a good shot for the Summit Racing catalog, there was roughly 500 photos of his car that I took that week.
Yeah, pretty insane. Well, big shout out to him, man. I'm excited for him to see all of those, because like he hadn't even seen those before then because you couldn't take the chance of him sharing those out. So
Yep. I did put those in a Google Drive and email them over to him. Probably going to shoot him a text too and let him know that they're there so he can check them out because, again, I don't think he saw them yet other than what was in the catalog.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. All right, well, let's talk about some circuit updates. I've been getting messages for people asking about Friday Night Hotel, and I promise I'm working on it. The struggle is, as I'm kind of getting hotels laid out, Waffle House calls me.
Oh, boy.
Our boy, Billy Noble from the Springfield store has worked with the district manager for the Joplin area, and now we're trying to put together a late night snack Waffle House kind of gathering, right?
Let's go.
If you're gonna do this, you might as well not sleep at all, right? So we're talking about that, and so that will change where I end up with the host hotel. There's a great area for hotels in Joplin, but the Waffle House isn't by them. So we're going to take a look, because a lot of people will spend time at Galena and they won't go to Mocan. Some folks will spend 20 or 30 minutes, get their photos at Galena and then go to Mocan to race in the top 32 car shootout that Josh Rich and John Ketch are putting on. So, it's going to be kind of a divided night, and I want to be able to mix all those people back up. And if we can do that at Waffle House, all the better. So big shout out to Dominic at Waffle House. I'm calling you tomorrow, buddy. We're going to figure this out big time, I promise. And the whole reason that this happened with Galena is because of the Hot Rod Hangout, Speed Shop and Diner, and Gearhead Curios. And y'all, I got to build something now. I've already got my valve cover picked out that I'm going to build. So the block party is happening in Galena, Kansas. It's open to the public, open to any cool car. Come on, open to any car, really. Come down, hang out, spend the time. It's going to be a blast. Valve cover drag racing. We're going to put some money on this, but it's got a full tree. It's got where's the shot? Yeah, you see the tree. It's got a reaction. Like you're literally pushing the button to react to drop your go button or whatever they call it. But look at some of these things, dude. These things are super creative. So I
Yeah.
gotta figure out something to build here. So there's a whole bunch of rules. I didn't put the rules in here, did I? I'm gonna make a post about it later tonight with all these photos. But it's basically like, skateboard wheels, rollerblade wheels, inside or outside doesn't matter. You can't have anything in front of the valve cover itself that would trip the timing beams, like a big wicker bill on the front. Can't have anything like that. But the gassers here in the shot that's on the far right, I think that's what I'm going for. I've
Yeah.
got inline 6 valve cover, so it's like this long, right? So all they give you is a minimum. It's minimum 10 inches long, whatever. So I think I'm going to use it. And then one of these has like skateboard trucks, which I don't think would be very hard to use, right? So I think that's what I'm going to build. I think it's going to be like that. So it's going to be kind of cool, man. I'm excited.
I do, and I know this because I just was cleaning in my garage. I built a slammed skateboard years ago to put with the 240 when I went to car shows. So I have an entire bag of leftover skateboard parts.
Oh,
So
dude, if you don't build one of these, I'm going to be upset. So we're going to do some fun stuff with this. We've got the valve cover drag races, which are going to be a huge hit. Again, we're going to be racing for money. We're going to be racing money to raise money for the youth services of Tulsa. And then we have the pro tree or the practice tree tournament that we're going to be doing. And we're going to be doing the belt sander races that are from Gearhead Curios as well. Hot Rod Hangout in here saying, oh, yes. And we have loaners too. So if you don't build your own, you can still borrow one and race within it as well. It's going to be awesome, dude.
My brain's already spinning.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Big time. So that's going to be fun. Again, that's going to be Galena, Kansas, Friday, June 27th, 4 to 9 p.m. Y'all, you got to be there. The circuit block party is going to be off the chain. It's going to be absolutely insane. We're going to have a blast. 400 or 500 cars, maybe. I mean, I don't know. We're going to take over Galena.
Yeah, buddy. I'm excited for that.
All right, lead us into some driven event updates, and then after that, we're going to bring in Mr. Richard Flint.
All right. Driven Racing Oil is the performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application, whether you're launching hard at the drag strip, enduring the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or even pushing limits in top field drag boats and demo derbies. Winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cling and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat tappet camshafts, also while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. It's crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil, then enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages. GP1 offers the best in protection and performance. And you guys know the deal. DrivenRacingOil.com is where you can go to get your oil or any merchandise. And Driven Racing Oil on Facebook or Instagram. Go give them a follow.
Yep. And then you can also find them at Streetcar Bragging Rights this weekend.
Yes. You can head right over there, pick up some oil on the spot. Probably have big straw hats and stickers and merchandise while they're there as well. So definitely go by, say hi.
Yeah, send us pictures from Streetcar Bragging Rights. Man, why didn't I go, dude? Why didn't I go? Okay, well, that's the first thing up we're going to talk about in these event updates. This is like this is a drag and drive adjacent event, right? One, there's like, of the 500 plus race cars that are there, probably 200 plus of them are street cars, and 55, 70, something like that are drag and drive racers, at least. Yeah, we don't have the full list yet. We have a registered list, but I haven't done the Excel, VLOOKUP to see who's done a drag and drive in the past and all that kind of stuff. But we'll have all of that next week on episode 107. This is a crazy one, man. Rockingham Dragway. If you're anywhere close or you have an airport close to you, get on an airplane, get in your car, get down there Friday or Saturday. It's going to be insane. Nate Prater was on the West Buck show today talking about it. I mean, dude, just Like they have fireworks, bro.
Right.
Fireworks, man. Crazy.
So you got fireworks for the circuit then, right?
We got to have them now. I mean, dang, dude, it looks like a blast. Maybe we do the final race of the day gets a big firework display or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be nuts. So listen, we tag us, send us photos, whatever you can do while you're there. Just man, help us tell the story of streetcar bragging rights. I'll tell you this right now, I won't miss that again next year. Um, it's crazy. It's crazy. So we're going to talk about it a little bit more here in just a minute. Tell us about what's going on close to you, though.
Yeah, coming up. What's the date on this one? I was just
Yeah,
looking that up. May 17th through 19th. So this
this weekend.
weekend, yep. Route 66 Raceway in Joliet is the Gerber Nationals, Route 66 Nationals, big NHRA drag event going on. But the cool thing is they are doing the drag and drive exhibition like they've done in the last, I think, 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
They've done it. So as you can see here, we've got Dave Schroeder, Alex Taylor, Bryant Goldstone.
Yeah,
Who are the
Ed,
other ones
Ed
around
Enzer,
there? Ed Enzer.
Craig Grubner, Tom McGilton, and Nick Taylor, buddy.
Yep.
Come on.
So obviously going to be pretty cool. If you haven't seen this, they do like what is it, eight car shootout.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they do that on Sunday, if I remember right, is the shootout.
Yep, I think they run it like a regular class, and what's cool is they do like a 50-mile cruise with this. So they go around, they take photos of cool spots, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be this is a big deal for the community. This is prime stage. I mean, Route 66 Raceway is only open like 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And one of them is this time. So, big shout out to, I think Alex Taylor kind of put all this together with Peak. And so big shout out to the racers. Dave Schroeder did put down a 413 today. So that car is absolutely working. Pretty impressive there.
Yep, should be a good time. So if anybody is available, head over to Joliet Route 66 drag strip and go check this out. I've gone to it. I think it was 2 years ago, and it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then back to the streets is next week, dude. It starts in a week.
Yeah.
Another one I wish I was going to. I'm really struggling, man. This is the hard part is we have like sick week, and then we really I didn't do anything. I won't do anything until really mega week. So that's been kind of tough. I'm getting the itches here to get to some drag and drive stuff. But back to the streets. Have I told you it's going to be at Brown County? Have
I
said
think you did. I think so.
So no prep, heads up, drag and drive. Man, this is the only format that's like this. Winners race winners, losers race losers. It's like a whole Matt Lang is smarter than I am to figure out the format to do that over 3 days of racing. And this is crazy. And then Sunday, they're doing a back end banger at Muncie with the team from Mid America Customs. Like, it's going to be crazy, man.
Yeah. And I know they've got definitely more cars than they had last year. I think I've been helping Matt out with some of the artwork. And I think we're at 64 pieces of racer artwork that we've put together so far. So I would imagine that he's still got more than that we haven't got to yet. But
that's awesome. So that's nearly double. Man, it's great. That's great for him. And with a week left, there's going to be people that are going to come out. They're going to, they're going to be like, oh man, I can actually take those days off work. But look at the list of classes here: small tire, stick shift, true street, modern, hard tire. Man, one of my favorite classes: 650 index, 750 index. Pretty awesome there. All right, let's keep rolling here. Sick on the Green kicks off the weekend of insanity. This is the biggest weekend in drag and drive history that is going to take place the last weekend of May. So Sick on the Green starts that. I'm figuring somewhere around 100 cars are going to be there, depending on who makes it out of streetcar bragging rights with their car intact. And then you've got Drop the Hammer, you've got Olympic streetcar shootout, and you've got the start of Mega Week all in the same weekend. It's absolutely crazy. So that's everywhere across the country. It's going to be hosting a drag and drive. We've got one in Michigan. We've got one in the Pacific Northwest. We've got obviously Mega Week here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then we've got, where's the other one?
Sick on the Green. Is that in Bowling Green?
Kentucky, yeah. So gonna be everywhere, man. This is gonna be nuts, and just a big shout out to Mega Week for having some fun, putting out the from the desk of Mega Week about to whom it may concern. Um, Whoever has this letter is going to be sick the week, and they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
They're helping
Listen,
the Drag and Drive community.
listen. I've got that printed out. If I'm still working some things out to try to make Mega Week because, man, the biggest drag and drive in history. Like, it's one of those, like, it's only going to happen once. At least there's
Yeah,
only going to be one first time of it, anyways.
yeah,
So this is
yeah.
one I really want to try to make it to. So, but man, June is just such a busy month.
Yes.
But let me tell you, if I end up coming before I leave work, this will be hanging on my desk for the week. Just saying.
That's awesome. Well, we've got plenty of Mega Week stuff coming up. That's what we're covering the next few weeks for sure. Okay, let's talk about some Olympic streetcar stuff so we can let Richard get back to, because they're loading the car up headed to streetcar bragging rights. So I messaged the team the other day at Olympic Streetcar Shootout. Again, last year was their first year. 2025 is their second year to do this. So I was like, hey, man, kind of give us some stuff, give us some details. So if you want to, man, you can kind of alternate between the things here. So I asked about route stops. Obviously, it's always a big thing with stuff. He said route stops are those guys, Hot Rod and Customs, Burgers Landing. So the picture with the airplane on the building. Fort Worden State Park with a World War II military base to defend the West Coast. And then you can look across that and see Canada. So I think that'll kind of give a really cool backdrop for some of the cars.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's hosted at Bremerton Raceway, which is targeted towards first timers and those who want to trial run their cars before hitting a national style event. They allow access to your tow vehicle during the event because they believe that their participants should have the opportunity to refine their operation during the event if needed, as they all understand it can be a learning curve. So definitely a little bit different than other events, but if they're truly using this as a test base for a national level event, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the layout there for that. That's super cool for them. And in 2026, this is another turn of events here. He said we plan on putting tier levels to the event. So the more events you've ran with us, the more restrictions you're going to be put against. So beginning with no tow rig access, trailer limitations, 100% drag and drive rule enforcement, as in horn, trailer lights, tail lights, blinkers, all that kind of stuff, depending on how many years you participated. We don't want to turn any people away, like any year one people away, because he even gives the example here, if they don't show up with a horn. We want to help these racers learn and expand into more events. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then they said that they are featuring 5 classes. New for 2025 is stick shift and tailgate, which combined a total of 31 entries in 2 new classes, which is awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Also included is limited street, which is essentially their power ed class, hot street, which is their NA only, and real street, which is their biggest class, which is essentially a 750 index, and everything is 8th mile.
That's cool, man. And that gives you a ton of opportunities for people to get in. That's the whole goal of regional events. I say it all the time. These are the gateway drug into drag and drive. That's the way it works. We want people to come in here and enjoy themselves and have fun and be out there. And there's no better way than having fun than hanging out with the Driven Racing Oil team right here.
Dan Chandler here saying over 70 cars in DYO for Drop the Hammer.
Yeah. I was talking to Carl last week, and he was saying like 150 cars or something for Drop the Hammer. So bring it on, man. These regional events are growing, and that's what we need. Like, we need a lot of these new people to come in and experience this and go, holy crap, that was a lot of fun. And my car made it, surprisingly. And now I'm going to go take on another big one. Well, Let's jump into the J-Wire solution so we can bring Mr. Richard Flint on here, because this is going to be a fun conversation, how you pick up 50 horsepower and keep the same tune. J-Wire Solutions, marine car care. God dang it. Hold on. Sorry. Not Marine Car Care. What the hell?
Redo.
JWire Solutions. Yeah. JWire Solutions is your expert car and marine wiring solutions you can trust. JWire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, your race car, your drag and drive car, or your sand rail. They can do that. Jay works on that all the time too. Plus, they offer different products to make your driving experience better. We talk about the blinker module every time, y'all. It is a must for drag and drive cars. This allows your blinkers to work just like your stock daily driver does. So typically in these aftermarket wiring harnesses, you put your foot on the brake and your blinker stops because it overrides it. So this eliminates that, fits right in there, just like a stock car. And that's exactly what you need for all of this. So JWire Solutions is your solution for wiring and all that kind of stuff. Let's talk to Mr. Richard Flint here. I want to take these pictures down real quick. Man, where are you headed? What are you doing? And can I come with you?
Absolutely, you can come. It's just a plane ticket away, buddy. Come on. We're heading up right now. What's that?
I said I'm in. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
We're heading up right now just to load the car up, grab the RV, and then we're hitting the road for Rockingham to go see our buddy Nate at Streetcar Brag Rights.
Man, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. So we won't keep you long. You've been backstage the whole time. I told you 8:15. It's 8:30. That's the way this thing rolls over here. So we'll roll here through pretty quick. So if you guys don't follow Richard, you haven't seen, but he's a great follow because the S2000 is absolutely insane. That car is amazing to watch. Super fast and just man, primo stuff, right? So you've got on the dyno. But before that, so this is the picture you lead us with. You tell us you do this merge right here, right?
Yep.
And then you don't tell us how much more power it made. So you kind of let it dangle in there for a couple days, which is great, which is fine. It kind of helped build some drama. So it really got me thinking, right? Like why, and that's why you're on. I want to know kind of why you did it, how much more power it made, all that kind of stuff.
So honestly, I was interested. So you can see on that picture right there, the picture that's on the right-hand side was what it looked like before, and the one on the left is the after. So it was a sheer fab flange that had dual 3-inch into it, but it really had no merge. The actual flange itself had some, CNC part of it that was merging, but if you looked at the inside of the flange, like it kind of ran into a wall in the back side of it. And we always just kind of, in the back of my mind, I always kind of thought it was probably a restriction, but I figured it wouldn't be a restriction until you made a buttload of power. So we kind of never made enough, in my opinion, to where I thought that was a restriction. So we just kind of rocked it, and it was convenient. It was really easy to make it fit. So then I was kind of shooting the shit with Ron from Sheer Fab, and he's like, yeah, we definitely, like, he actually kind of was like, I can't believe you have that flange on there. That flange is not intended for a guy like you. It's intended just for convenience. He goes, we got to try something different. I'm like, I'm going to try it. And I'm like, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability, because I have to know, I want a equal to equal, test to see exactly what it gained. And the kind of funny part is, I mean, the car in probably less than 60 days, we're going twins anyways. So this was absolutely for no reason other than I had to know. I had to know, so I had to do it. Exactly, science. So yeah, so we put the car on the dyno beforehand. Just kind of made some. So we made a pull on wastegate, like 940, 960, something like that. Another pull with like 20 pounds of dome, made like 1,200 some change. Then 1,400, 17, 18, and then 19. And then once we were done with the merge, went right back to the dyno and then ran all the tune-ups exactly the same way. Now, the only thing we didn't do, I did not take it to the final number, the 1900. I left it on the 1840 tune-up because we saw it picked up 50, but it wasn't really gaining like incrementally. So it really was kind of no point in running it any harder on the dyno. But interesting enough, it was pretty much optimized timing wise before. Didn't really want any more timing. If I put a degree in it, it'd pick up maybe like 10 horsepower. So wasn't enough to risk it. So when we went back to the dyno with the new merge on there, identical tune, it picked up 50 with no changes.
Jeez.
Then, yeah, out of curiosity, so we were at 1840. It was the 1840 tune-up. It made like, I think it was like 1890, I think. Then I was like, you know what? I'm just curious to see if it wants, because I actually had kind of convinced myself that it would want less timing potentially. If it was a more efficient burn, I thought that potentially it would want less timing. So I was like, all right, let's pull some timing out of it just to see if it picks up power, loses power. And so we pulled 2 degrees and it lost 100 horsepower.
Wow.
So it told us that no, it was definitely not on the verge of turn. So then went back to the original tune-up and added a degree, and it picked up 50 more. So essentially, so it's up 1 degree, and the collector and net it's up 100 horsepower.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane. Wow.
And I didn't want to take it any. I mean, definitely, it was. I wanted to put more timing in it. I really did.
So a guy like you that sees 1930, do you instantly go, man, can we put a 2 in the front of that?
I almost did. But I care more about. So technically, it actually. So the car only makes peak power like 7,300 RPMs.
Wow.
But we turn it 8,500, and there's just some reasons with that. We know that engine is technically, it's a fuse. It is torque limited to a certain number. So we play that game of, it's about 1,500 foot-pounds of torque. So we play that game of running 1,500 foot-pounds of torque at 8,500 RPMs, which, equates to roughly, whatever, 1,900 horsepower. I have to do the math on it. As opposed to if we ran 1,500 foot-pounds at 6,000 RPMs, you're only going to make, whatever, 16, 17, 1,800. So we play that game where it makes more power and the engine doesn't really know it. But if we ever ran this thing at 50 pounds of boost like we do at 6,000 RPMs, it'd probably fold the rods over and shove them right out the block. So we play that line.
Yeah.
We actually treat it like a stock block is kind of how we treat it, like a stock block 5.3, except for it's built. So that's what allows us to get to that 2,000, because it's a very simple build. I mean, it's a stock GM crank. As crazy as it sounds. Yep.
Well, and I mean, am I right in thinking that because you're turning the RPMs, you're not trying to just make it at 6,000. You're not like you're leaning on it, but you're not like moving the power band up helps save things.
Absolutely. Your cycle time is less. So the actual amount of time per cycle that it's under load is less. So as far as the engine is concerned, it's less stressful with it being that higher RPM.
Yeah. So what you're saying is the faster you go, the better it is for your engine.
Technically, yeah. As long as everything else can handle, as long as valve train can handle, as long as all that stuff, absolutely. But you can't do both. So like we have to have a converter that's loose enough that we never see that 6,000, because here's the deal is that we run it at, so technically if we wanted to, we could make the same power, so to speak. It probably would be 20 pounds of boost less, but we'd operate the motor at 6,000 RPMs. But in my opinion, I feel like because you're at that peak torque area, it actually hurts it. And that's one of the reasons why we have a standard head gasket, like nothing fancy, no O-rings, no copper, no nothing. Wow. And we have 0 head gasket issues. None. I mean, I've got hundreds of passes on that thing at, 50 pounds of boost with absolutely no head gasket troubles, no issues, no anything.
Golly, that's awesome. Okay, well, listen, we're going to let you get to doing what you're doing. I want to say thanks. I mean, this was literally last minute. I think I messaged you at 4:00 today. Yeah. And I was going to have somebody else on to talk about it, and I was like, man, I'll just ask him if he'll come on. So good luck this weekend, dude. Go out there, kick ass, take names, man.
Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon. Oh, yeah.
See ya.
Later. Dude, how cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah, that car's
1,930 horsepower.
I don't even know. I wouldn't know what to do with all that.
Do you see this car is the size of this table I'm sitting in front of?
Yeah. I mean, it's about the same size as my 240, and I couldn't imagine 1,900 horsepower in that.
That's crazy. Yeah, we'll have to have him back on after Streetcar Bragging Rights to hear about the event, but then two, you heard the twinkle of, hey, I'm going to Twins. So like he did all of this work. All this new silver piping, you guys, that's brand new. For the folks who are listening on the podcast, you're looking at beautiful pie cuts and bends here, and a dynograph that says 1931 horsepower. But does all that work because of science, man. I love it. That's what's great, man. That's what's great about car guys.
Yeah, those definitely people smarter than me.
That's for sure. Yeah, Azim here says, I'm just happy to be making 930. Dude, I'm happy if I make 530. Like that's why Drag and Drive is great, man. That's why car stuff is great. All right. Well, again, big shout out to Jay Wire. I actually messaged Jay Blanchard today, and he said he's a little under the weather, or he was going to come on, and we were going to kind of dive into that with him. He's the smartest guy I know, so I thought I would ask him. So, anyways, big shout out to Richard, man. Thanks again. Appreciate you coming on. Literally last minute to talk about it, and I'm excited to see. That's another car build for us to follow. The Drag and Drive cars, lots of people are making upgrades, like Donavan Linwood, who's on in just a little bit to discuss, all the changes he made to the Mustang.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into the Molly Motorsports segment, because we've got some good stuff in here, man. I'm telling you, we're going to be looking at streetcar bragging rights.
All right. Racers and high performance enthusiasts, are you ready to start your next engine build? If so, there is no better time than right now to check out Molly Motorsports all-in-one Power Pack Piston Kit. With over 1,200 applications, these kits come complete with pistons, rings, wrist pins, and clips, all designed to work together. Molly Motorsports Power Pack Piston Kits take out all of the guesswork. No more trying to determine if a piston will need this ring to work with a certain cylinder size. Molly Motorsports did all that engineering so that you can get to the part that matters, which is building a power plant that leads you to victory lane. Visit mollymotorsports.com for more details, and for our podcast listeners, Molly is spelled Mahle.
That is for sure. Big shout out to Eric Grillo, who's going to be at Rocky Mountain Race Week Mega Week in his stick shift Nova. I do want to give a shout out to Jerry Roberts. How you doing, buddy? Great to see you on here. Appreciate that. Worked with him at Miller Zell.
Nice.
And yeah, man, streetcar bragging rights, dude. Again, I can't say it enough. I got serious FOMO here, man. Serious FOMO. This is
the good news is that you're not going to miss it per se.
No, because I'm signing up for Freedom Plus. I'm going to be sitting in front of the TV all weekend. So that honeydew list may have to be done while I'm listening to it on my phone, or
get you one of those things that goes around your neck and that wraps up. You can set your phone on, get you a set of earbuds, and you can still work and watch it.
Yeah, that may be what we have to do. We're going to be doing some mulch in the flower bed and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be doing that. Well, listen, again, Nate Prater, absolutely just, man, has thrown a huge party for these folks that are coming out there. There are people from across the country that are headed that way right now. I think you said 3 different countries. Man, we've got a huge list of folks here. I think Eric went through and pulled most of the Drag and Drive guys that we know off the top of our head. I was just messaging with Jeremy Ortiz just before the show started, and he's going to be on next week to talk about streetcar bragging rights, and he's in the SCBR shootout, as well as most of these other guys you're looking at here on the screen. So, man, the list is absolutely huge. 513 racers signed up. Why don't you give us a few of the names that are listed, dude? Because there's some hitters.
Yeah. So, looking at the photos on the screen, we've got Doug Cook, Matt Moore, Jeremy Ortiz. That bottom one is Doug.
I think it's White.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And then Taylor Hendrick and Rich Guido here. So, I mean, man, a couple of stick shift guys there. Do you got some more of these in here?
We got La Sala, Jim Braun, Jim Treadle. Oh, man, can't wait to see that. I think Dean, I can't remember Dean's last name, with the 300ZX, which you never see any of those cars. And this car's like a 7-second car. You got Ryan Wiegand, Timothy Blythe, come on, big boy. I love that. Love seeing him out there. Blythe Life Racing for your want to look at that. And Graham Hayes.
Graham Hayes, that car is going to be bad.
Get down. It's going to be badass. You see
Yep.
Richard Flint there on the bottom.
Yep. Letitia Hughes. What is that? Barry Cook. Wendell Gomez. What is that? Robbie, is it Dowdy?
Dowdy, yep. Coastal
Lord.
Racecraft, Robbie Dowdy. Man, that car's fast. Big nitrous car. Visit Sick Week.
Yep. I've got it blown up now so I can actually read them a little bit. Yep. Anthony Harville. Jason, was that Texera?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe he's the 1320 Junkie Performance guy.
Yep.
Pretty sure. And then Houston McLean there on the end.
Yeah. And then I grabbed two more. I was trying to go through and look. John Moore in the 8-second Crown Vic that I'm jealous of does that on 31-inch tall tires and will hang those hoops, man. It's crazy. And then Tommy Hoskinson in the truck again. There was the craziest twin turbo setup in the bed. Got him put up there. It's pretty cool. So I saw him on Sick Week. I mean, just the list of cars here.
And I know there's a bunch more that we missed. Like this was, just us trying to grab the ones that we could see. But I guarantee you somebody in here knows somebody that's going there that isn't on this list.
Yeah, that is for sure. And one thing my plan is, I'm sure they'll have some kind of like qualifying sheets and things like that, is I'm going to take that and I'm going to pull it and I'm going to, run it against the sheets that I have for historical data and see how many we have there. Because with 500 racers coming to a streetcar based race, there's going to be guys that we didn't recognize. There were a few cars where I was like, man, that looks like a drag and drive car. Like I feel like I've seen that somewhere, but it's too hard to run that individually looking for those names. So I'll do that once we get done. And again, we're going to do a full breakdown of this event in episode 107 of the Drag Driver Pete Show. A couple different guests on, talk about some times they ran and all that, as we also mix in for Mega Week. So yeah, craziness ensues at streetcar bragging rights. I can't wait, dude. Freedom Plus, we're going to be watching it. Eric is going to be, again, like I said earlier, out of town with his wife, taking a nice relaxing weekend. I hope you guys don't even look at your phones while you're away and just enjoy your time together. We're going to be down here watching streetcar bragging rights.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We're going to be in the upper peninsula of Michigan, so I'd be a little concerned on how much cell service we might even have anyways.
Yeah, nah. Don't even worry about it, man. We got it handled down here. Well, here's why I want to talk about this event and kind of some detail. Why can this event host 500 cars, but a drag and drive, I'm not going to say can't. That's the word I typed out. But, why haven't we seen that with the drag and drive? So it's kind of a question for you and the folks in the chat is like, this 513 registered racers, let's say 480 show up. Is it because as you run your eliminations, you have less and less cars throughout the day? There's still probably going to be, if you go 4 rounds of racing, which you'll do that at least with that many cars for each class, people are still probably averaging 2 passes each. So is that why we don't do it? Is it because of I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, and what's the schedule for this too? I'm assuming, it's a 3-day qualifying, they're not leaving the track. You're not having to try to organize routes for 500 cars, route stops, different tracks. I think there's a lot of things that go into it. However, we are going to see this in a few weeks at Mega Week. So, is this the start of bigger events?
I hope so. The one thing so they do have like a street index class, and part of that is that they drive around the speedway there. And he was saying today on the West Buck Show, Nate Prater, again, promoter for this event, was saying on the West Buck Show, there's 128 cars signed up for the street index class. So those cars will be making a drive, but they won't be on the public roads, right? So they'll at least be on the track. And as you say that, it makes me think that's probably easier. You just take them over, you route them around the track, they make their 10 laps or whatever it would need to be to go from there. How That would definitely be easier. Dan Chandler, yeah, $112,000 in payouts, man.
That's
Crazy.
that's how you get people to the event, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't doubt that, we could handle that many people. I mean, most of the times when we're doing a drag and drive, we're renting the track for, what do you say, 6 hours, 4 hours,
Yep.
so if you get a track for all day and all night, obviously you can get more passes in. So, maybe that's part of it too.
Yeah, as we continue to grow and figure this stuff out, because if you really think about it, drag and drive is still very, very small, very new. Even though we've done it for 20 years, for 10 of those, it was one event. For the
Right.
next 5, there were 3 events. It was Rocky Mountain Race Week, which had essentially the same format, different classes than Drag Week, and now we're kind of getting into that like new learning phase of what events can handle what and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see the next 5 years and see if we will see more events like this. Like, could you host at like a track like Rockingham, and then your 500 cars have to do a 100-mile loop? We would consider that a drag and drive. I mean, anything more than I think probably 80 miles a day is proving your street car for a drag and drive setup anyways. So if you drove that far, I mean, you could do that. You could race, you could run a qualifying for 6 or 8 hours. And then, if you had the right drive, that's a 3-hour drive, 185 to 100 miles.
Yeah. I still think if you opened up a track for whatever a full day would be,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no route stops, you just went from track to track, I still think you could probably pull it off with that many cars.
Mm-hmm.
I think adding the route stops makes it hard because everybody's got to get a pass in enough time to make route stops. Now, I know obviously route stops are a big part of what drag and drive is, but I think if you were to try to have this many cars, I think you would probably have to eliminate something and possibly extend the hours at the track.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what I was saying. Like, if you had one track and you just made a loop, so you made your loop 50 miles out, 50 miles back. And
Yeah.
that was your overnight stuff. And you did, a 3-day deal. So you got 2 days of qualifying, and you got, your last day of heads up racing, or it's all for averages. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I think we probably could. I think it's just a different mentality. And, a lot of times we talk about the vacation side. It's like a car guy vacation. Like, you're not running to absolutely be on the ragged edge of what your car can do, because you're not at your truck and trailer. You're trying to make it back to your truck and trailer.
Right. And
So,
at the end of the day, that doesn't sound as fun. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
yep,
not having route stops, not going from track to track, not
yep,
driving through small town America. Like that,
yep.
that doesn't seem as fun. But if you were to bring this type of payout to a drag and drive,
Mm-hmm.
it's not fun. It's not as fun anymore because it
Yeah.
becomes a lot more competitive. So then, you know, I don't know.
Hmm. Well, it's got my wheels turning. I'll tell you that much. You and I talk about a lot of different things, and that's one thing we've talked about before. Is like, how do you put something on that is highly competitive? Because like the guys are in every class are competitive, but it's not, I'm going to ring my car every time, every pass I go out there, because you still got to make that drive. And I think one of the cool things about drag and drive is you are at, like you would be at one track one day, you're at a completely different track the next day, and you've got 2 passes really to figure out what it's going to run. Then you go to a completely different third track and figure out what it's going to run. So
Right.
I don't know, man.
Other than weather changing and stuff like that, at streetcar bragging rights, people are going to get their stuff tuned in, and they're going to
Mm-hmm.
know what it's going to take to get down and what they need to do each round.
Yep.
That all goes out the window when you go track to track, different times, you know, different track prep, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, definitely changes.
Yeah. And what'd you get into on the road? What
Right.
did like Devin and them, they had no sleep, forgot to take out the air filters.
Right.
Things
Or
like that will happen.
Goldstone smacking an oil pan, like,
Oh yeah.
just all that stuff.
Yep. Hmm. Pretty interesting. I don't know, man. There's some real stuff that's going to be happening in the drag and drive community over the next 5 years. It's going to be really awesome to see what how many different styles of format. Heads Up Hustle has a 2 days of qualifying that sets the ladder. Heads Up, Back to the Streets is Heads Up every day. No test passes, no nothing beforehand. You just go right into a Heads Up, chip draw type thing. I think, and then you've got like Rocky Mountain Race Week, which is traditional. You got Drag Week, which is traditional. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different ways that people are figuring this out. It's exciting. All right. Well, listen. Good luck to all of the drag and drive racers that are at Streetcar Bragging Rights this weekend. Good luck to all the racers. But listen, carry that drag and drive flag, baby. We can't wait. I can't wait to watch it and see what everybody's got going on.
Yeah. How cool it'd be to see a car in victory lane, or whatever you want to call it, come home with a trophy with a drag drive repeat sticker on it.
Bring it on, man. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Well, good luck to them. And again, thanks to Molly Motorsports. We appreciate them and all the work they do with us and help us get all the stuff going. You know what I mean? Like, Molly's been around for a long time with us. They're huge supporters of the channel. And man, we got to have Eric Grillo back on. Maybe we have him on after Mega Week, between Mega Week and the circuit, and talk to him, see how his trip was. And then maybe we can have Adam on, who's coming out to the circuit from Molly. That'll have all the stuff. Rodney Reeser said Chad Reynolds' Hot Lap Challenge is 1 track, 3 days, 100-mile drive from the track and back to the track. Yeah, that's awesome. Watch for that in February. Yeah, he had planned to do it this year, and I think he just didn't have the time to put it all together. The way that schedule fell and the weather just wasn't working together. But yeah, I'm excited. Hot Lap Challenge 2026 is going to be great.
Yes, sir.
All right, lead us into some. Actually, I'll read Deechworks. You've done the last 2 ad reads.
All right.
All right. Deechworks is the leading manufacturer of high-performance fuel system components. The DW product line includes fuel injectors, pumps, pump modules, fuel rails, regulators, filters, lines, and fittings, and surge tanks engineered to support power levels ranging from 400 to 2,200 horsepower, which covers 98.73% of the drag and drive community. Since its founding, Deechworks has been committed to delivering quality, innovation, and precision to the automotive performance industry. Every DW product is built to maximize reliability and efficiency, ensuring optimal performance solution for racers, tuners, and performance enthusiasts worldwide. With a focus on engineering excellence and industry-leading customer support, Deechworks continues to drive the future of high performance fueling. You guys can find them. I don't even know how to tell you how to spell Deechworks. Look here on the screen, type that in, deechworks.com, go in there and find it. They've got all kinds of stuff. They have really, man, they've broadened our horizons on what we need to get Eric's car going for fuel lines and pumps and all that kind of cool stuff. So we appreciate them and all their support that they've provided. All right. Let's talk about another drag and drive adjacent event that is slowly becoming one of the premier race events of the year, the Havlicks Fastest Streetcar Shootout. Y'all, yeah, this is crazy.
I consider this a don't miss event. Like, yeah, obviously it's not your traditional drag and drive, but the cars that came out last year, like, everybody should want to come check those cars out.
Yes.
And it's only going to be bigger and better this year.
Yeah, last year was a single day event. Like, it was 1 day of like qualifying and racing, and then now they've extended it to 3 days. So you talk about party time. We're going to have a good time. This is going to be awesome, man.
This is one of my favorite events after last year. It was, as soon as they released the dates, I was like, okay, I'll be at this one.
Yeah, get ready. And we got August cool 14th through 17th. Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure this is one of the photos, obviously a little modified, but this is one of the photos that we took while we were there.
Yeah, man, it's so cool. And there's cars that are like super historic within the Fastest Streetcar Shootout that you guys know started in the mid-90s, all that stuff. They've been posting cars that are coming, and that's what I want to go through this list real quick. So
they've been doing a great job with the promotions.
Oh, man.
If you're not following their Facebook page, you need to go do that. Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
awesome. They've been killing it.
Yep. They've doing an excellent job, man. Big shout out to Brian and Jesse over there with it. Uh, how about this car? Tom Nelson's Chevelle Rocky Mountain Race Week veteran. And that's one thing that's cool. So early on, I think as they got the dates set, Brian and Jesse both reached out to us and were like, hey, if we see cars in here that aren't, that we don't recognize as far as drag and drive cars, will you help us? Will you help us figure out these cars are drag and drive or not? And so they haven't had to reach out yet, which is great because, man, the drag and drive cars that are coming out are proven cars. So you got the Tom Nelson's Chevelle here that is, he said in the post that he's going to drive on an 871 and then swap to the 1071 once he gets to the track.
I need to get a video of that changeover.
Yeah. Just, man, a GoPro on time lapse above the thing because he's got to carry that.
Right.
So it's going to be awesome. And then Rob Seaton, we saw this car last year. This car is, oh man, it's perfect. It's perfect. The color is great. The Pro Street setup is great. Big block on nitrous. It sounds amazing. I mean, you see the dump there, and that's the return road on Tri-State. So they are moving from Tri-State to Cordova. So you guys will know that. So a little bigger track there. It's all right. Who's up next though? Our boy.
Mr. Bryant Goldstone. There is a bounty on him. So the Tony Christian bounty. To be the man, you have to beat the man. So you can see that flyer there. Obviously, Goldstone winning last year. They've got a bounty out on him, and it'd be interesting to see who shows up and if anyone can take him down.
Yeah, there's some hitters that are coming that are definitely going to have the opportunity. He's going to be racing for dang sure, and $1,000 if he wins again, he gets that 1,000. If somebody beats him, they get the 1,000. So that's pretty cool, and that's sponsored by Shot Racecraft, which is a big part of who built or is building, or I guess built Bryant's new car, the new Corvette. So they're
the
big
one that's
his program. Yeah. So they're a big part of his program and good friends of him. Joe Schott's a great dude. And I'm telling you, they're not going to lay down. So it's going to be pretty cool. And what's going to be interesting is, I'm sure he'll probably bring this car because of the history. But, is he going to bring the other car too? I mean, August is still, that's 3 months from now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It'd be cool to see it there, even if he doesn't race it, even if he just makes some, fun passes. And it'd be a good time for him to take it out and make a few hits with it if he hasn't by then already. But I'm with you. I'm pretty sure he'll run the Javelin.
Yeah, some shakedown runs. And then this gentleman, man, Clark Rosensangle, come on, buddy. I'm excited about this. This car, obviously 200-mile-an-hour Camaro. He ran 200s every day of the last event he was at. I think it was Drag Week. Awesome. Bring it on, or maybe Six Summer. I can't remember. But then also takes his car and then goes land speed racing with it. So,
which is wild. So cool.
Man, 260 miles an hour. So, and street car.
Right. And then the last one we got is you gotta love this car, Joe Barry Creamsicle 56. So beautiful. Just hit his first 200-mile-an-hour pass, right?
Mm-hmm. Man, that's awesome. I can't wait to see this car again.
Yeah. So many cool cars coming out for sure.
Yeah, so go follow Hot Rods by Havlik. The list is absolutely insane. It just continues to grow, and they've got like 6 or 7 different classes, and if you guys go, you're going to get to see us. Eric and I are both going to be there, just drooling over everything. The number of Tri-5 Chevrolets there.
I was literally going to say that next.
Primo
it's unbelievable.
Stuff, yeah. It's like the Tri-5 Nationals. I think at one point we a lot of historical cars. I think Richard Keith is his name that brings up. And I think he's going to have 4 or 6 cars there this year. And he's got a lot of those historic cars. So pretty awesome.
Yeah. And last year they did something that I hadn't seen done before. They took and put everybody out on the track and kind of angled them towards the center. And it made for some cool photos, cool drone shots. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. They're going to be doing that again as well. So they were making posts about that the other day. All right. Again, big shout out to Deechworks. Love those guys. They are really, Mark Campbell's working there now. He's one of the smartest dudes we know. And, big shout out to Krista, who made all this possible for them to come on board. And we appreciate it. And I can't wait to be in Oklahoma City for Mega Week, because if Rocky Mountain Race Week doesn't stop by there, I will be cruising through the parking lot and talking to all those folks and getting some video for you guys that are at home. And the Deechworks place, man, we stopped by there at 666, and it was awesome.
Where's that at again?
Oklahoma City.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. All right, let's thank our race car friends, and then I see Donavan Linwood is backstage, so we'll bring him in after this.
All right. Listen, been a great night. Lots of people commenting in here, so we appreciate all of you guys. That's why we call you guys our race car friends. We couldn't do it without you guys. Obviously, you guys going to events gets us stories, us interviewing you, you guys coming on to the show. It's literally everything that we love to do, and we appreciate you guys being a part of it. And obviously, our sponsors are a huge part of what we do. Summit Racing, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, WAF Racing, Performa-Built Transmissions, Car Chains 3D, PowerTube TV, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. And you guys know we talk about this every week, our gentleman's agreement. We love what we do here. Obviously, it takes time, it takes energy. Mike's up late. I'm making notes right before the show. Mike's making notes before the show. We're gathering pictures. We're messaging you guys. Obviously, it's a lot of work, but we love it. So the gentleman's agreement, we're going to continue doing what we do. We just need you guys to hit that like button, the share button, subscribe, follow, whatever platform you're watching it on. Follow us, share it out to your friends, and help us grow. And then WAF Racing will hit this video, and then we'll be able to bring Donavan on.
Have you ever wished you could fit your toolbox in the palm of your hand, or really needed that extra set of hands while making a jet change at the track? At WAF Racing, we specialize in designing and manufacturing top-tier automotive tools that are made strong to withstand travel, yet lightweight not to slow you down. Tested in-house and at the track by the team at WAF Racing, every part is made by racers for racers. From compact toolkits, carburetor top hats, or spark plug storage containers, our tools are precision engineered and manufactured in the USA. Made of the strongest materials, every piece strikes the perfect balance of durability and dependability. Maybe you need something custom just for you. We do that too. You need WAF Racing in the passenger seat for your next drag racing event. Head over to wafracing.com today to take your racing experience to the next level. WAF Racing. Design, build, race.
Man, I can't wait to hang out with Chris Wozniak soon. I'm going to be able to see him. If not at Six Summer, we'll be hanging out at his place when Six Smokies rolls through. Melissa and I are going to make the trip over to Nashville and hang out with those guys.
That'll be fun.
All right, well, let's bring on Mr. Donavan Linwood. Let's, I want to say thanks. Again, this is kind of just happened out of, the quickness here. Messaged you, I think, yesterday or today, asking if you can come on. Man, this is going to be a good time because you keep saying you're a quiet guy, but do you let your car do the talking? Is that what happens? Is that what's going on?
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. Not much of a talker. Just kind of like to do things.
There you go. Well, man, tell us who you are, and I want to talk about where you live first because that's probably one of the hardest things about Drag and Drive.
All right, I'm Donavan. I'm up here in Centralia, Washington, kind of out and away from everything.
Yeah, definitely not close to any drag and drives except now. The last couple of years, you've had a couple come up close.
Yeah, we had the Olympic Drag and Drive Olympic Streetcar Shootout. That popped up close. Redwood Rally, that one's pretty close. Nice day drive. Nothing like cross country like I'm used to.
Right, because you've done a lot of Rocky Mountain Race Week stuff. So for the folks listening at home, here's kind of our plan. We're going to do some like history, car build, stuff like that in this first segment. And then we're going to do another ad read for Performa Built. And then we're going to talk about your drag and drive history. So tell us, man, like what do you do for your day job? And what does a guy like you daily drive?
So I am a painter at Braun Northwest. They're an ambulance manufacturer. I run the paint shop there. Been there quite a while now. Daily driver. I have a Dodge Neon SRT4.
Oh, sweet, dude. That's awesome. I would not have pictured you for that. I don't know what I pictured you daily driving, but it wasn't a SRT4 Neon.
Yeah, my first car that I played with back in high school was a 86 GLHT Omni. So kind of fell into that
Nice.
turbo Dodge life, and SRT4 is something I always wanted. So got one.
Yeah. And talk about a car that's fun to drive like that. Man, they make great noises, and they do great front wheel drive burnouts, and
You'll get good gas mileage.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about this car, man, because that's really Eric and I have been talking about the last few weeks, kind of hit and miss here, updating through the build. But I want to start way back. So I dug through your Facebook to see how far I could find cars, and then I come across this. Is this the same car? And tell some history of it.
Absolutely, same car. So I bought it back in 2018 or 19, and as the white is how you see it when I first got it, and it has been through so many different variations. It's not even funny. Had everything from a stock bottom end 5.3, pushing it with everything I could, to what it is now.
Man, it has definitely had some different iterations. The new is it paint? Is it a wrap? What do you?
It is paint. It is a pillar shift pearl from DID Spade. It's over black, and yeah.
So
Man, that's cool.
Did you have somebody paint it, or did you paint it?
Nope, I painted it. I've painted it both times.
I figured you would.
He's a painter by day. He ain't gonna have anybody else paint it.
Right? I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. So you've had it since like 18 or 19. So you said like a stock bottom end 5.3. Did you buy it that way, right? Or
nope.
was it?
I bought it when I bought it. It was just a roller. I had a small turbo small block Ford in it before I got it. Had the 850 cage in it, and those wheels are about the only thing left from the original what I got with the car.
Nice. Yeah, that's the way it goes, man. So what different power plants and stuff have you had in it?
So I had that 5.3 in it for several years. Had a 408, a Thompson Motorsports 408 in it. I've had anywhere from an on-3 83 millimeter ball bearing turbo, from an S475, I had an S480 on there. Let's see. I think that's it before I got I had an 88 mil. My last one was a Borg 88, and then now I have a Garrett 88 mil on it.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, I love the underglow. This thing is it just looks right with the paint color and the underglow, man. It's awesome. So what's the powertrain in it now?
It is a Dart Block 427. It's got a TA ported trick flow 245 heads on it. Yeah.
It gets down, is what you're saying.
We're hoping. Yeah. Went to a solid setup this year. Last year I had a pretty rough year, kept hurting heads, and couldn't really figure out why. Have some ideas, but heavy valve train was kind of what we were thinking for what I was trying to do. So got away from the LS7 head, went back to a cathedral port and solid roller, and hopefully we can make this last a little bit longer.
Interesting. Trans setup and stuff?
It's a Power Glide, and just got a gear vendor on it this year, so hopefully that will be nice.
That'll help. So
can't even test it yet.
Right with it, did you go deeper rear gear, or did you keep this?
It's kept all my gearing the same. Before I was just kind of gear bound at that 65 area. Hopefully I can pick that up now.
And now you'll be like Rich Guido, 75 or 80.
I'm hoping so. Cut some of these drives down. Tired of them 14-hour drive days.
Oh man. Yeah, that is for sure. Well, one of the big things, again, we've been following this for a while. What really kicked off was the upgrade you started in September. And sorry, here, back to the photos here. For the folks who are listening on the podcast, you're looking at the car with like an 850 cage laying in the floor, and it's gutted next to it. So walk us through kind of the updates that you started at in September, and Eric and I'll just sit here and listen to you talk for 45 minutes.
So last year I ran a national event and ended up getting booted for not having enough cage in it. So I figured it was finally time to get rid of the 850, even though it's mainly an 8th mile car. Very, very little quarter mile for the most part. It's it's an okay. So I decided to go to the 750 cage. It had a super heavy, thick wall, mild steel cage in it, 850 cage. So far, I had it on scales early, but so far it's looking like the car might be a little bit lighter with the 750 chromoly in it.
Wow.
I'd say it's a more cage. It's just the 25.5 core kit. It was super nice kit on it, for somebody who's never done something like that before. It was fairly idiot proof. So
that's awesome.
I gotta give props to him for that. A little bit of changes that I did just because I wanted bars a little bit different, but for the most part, it went right in. Almost too tight sometimes because let's face it, I'm not that great of a welder. So had to call in some buddies for help on that. And yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Well, I had that all cut apart. I kind of got told by several people as they said, well, if you ever want a mini tub it, now's the time to do it. It's never going to be this easy. So started cutting those out. Got a hold of my buddy, Joey Saboku, with STL Fab, made up the wheel tubs.
Are you saying while you're in there?
Yeah.
While I'm in there. While I'm in there.
While I'm in there doing all that, I decided to cut torque boxes out, do torque boxes. Once again, it was never going to be that easy of a time to do that. So cut that all apart and started doing that. And that kind of just evolved into the whole back half of the car changing.
Yeah, certainly. So you narrowed the rear axle a few inches, you said?
Yep. So going back to that national event again, I put 275s on the car. I had to raise the car a lot more than I wanted to. Screwed with all my angles, just made the car not happy. So I figured if I was in there doing all that, might as well narrow it. That way I can fit a 275 under it with ease. A little bit bigger drive tire for drag and drive stuff also. Just hopefully things work a little bit better back there.
Right. What gear do you run in it now?
I run a 355.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So that'll be awesome with the gear vendor.
Yeah.
You'll be loving life.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah. That and a taller drive tire will definitely help. Man. Yeah. You really, I think Eric and I probably said a few times that it's the while I'm in there stuff that generally gets you pretty tough,
Oh, yeah.
But this is a great upgrade. So going to this cage, what does that allow you in the 8th?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure.
It'd be faster than what you have been so far, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, because I think you can go 135 miles an hour with an 850 cage in the 8th. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I know it's a 5:30 or 5:39 or something like that is the 8th mile time. Gotcha.
I was trying to look up. I had your stuff pulled up here from earlier, and I think you had been some low 5s in the past, right?
Yes, I have been a 5.0 on repeat. For 3 years now, I've been at a 5.0, and I've ran several 5.000s.
Oh,
I've ran them at 147, and I've ran them at 133. So
that's
something
tough.
Here and there every single time.
That is tough. So looking at a lot of stuff, you've done a lot of Rowdy Radial. Will you why do you choose the 235 tire? Do you just like to do hard?
So the local class that I run that kind of got me building the car before I started doing drag and dive stuff is an 8.5 Outlaw. So I kind of just built the car around that, which kind of hinders me in drag and drive stuff, I feel, because my weights, weight and turbo choice, I'm very stuck to stay legal for that class. So there's a lot of things I could change if I was strictly a Rowdy Radial car versus what I do in Outlaw A5.
Well, and I think that's one thing that Matt has done really well across most of the classes is he doesn't make it. There's not so many rules that you're okay. Well, I'm only building this for X class. You can still go race some other stuff. You've done pretty well at Rocky Mountain, right? Like some podium finishes and stuff, right?
Yep, I have a 1, 2, and 3 place or third place. So yep, I've got pretty much all those.
So with the new setup, so for folks that don't know, Rowdy Radial is a 235 class that's run at Rocky Mountain Race Week. It's the only 8th mile class within Rocky Mountain Race Week, and really, man, it's one of the funnest classes to watch because those tires look so small. when you start looking at everybody else's stuff. Pat Cook in here saying, and you kicked a stock F-150's butt.
Rowdy Radial shootout final.
Yeah, right. Wow, how fun! Well, yeah, I'm telling you, the 235 class is one of my favorite ones that's out there for sure. So we talked about quick CT. What about goals for the new setup? Like with all those switches?
Honestly, I'm not going to shoot a huge goal. If it stays together and I can keep it more reliable, and I want in the force. That's been my fight for 3 straight years now. I want that 4. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much my goal. Keep it together.
Awesome. Keep it together and finish, and don't have anything wild happen because this is your first time out.
Yeah, that's a long ways to go. My first time out. This is the farthest behind the ball I've been ever. So it's kind of.
You did drive it the other day, though, right?
I did. Yeah, I drove it. And it's been on the dyno already. So hey,
you're fine.
Oh yeah,
you're fine. It'll be good. I want to talk about wiring just real quick, and then we'll get back to some more fun, normal stuff. The wiring in this car. Man, look at the amount of stuff that's there. And then you're on a Dominator, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So did you rewire the car when you started all this work as well?
Yep. That's another thing that's been changed several times. I didn't rewire a whole lot of it. I had to do a lot of moving because the X bar went right through my electrical panel. So I had a lot of moving, but not a whole lot of changes wiring wise this time, but just moving.
That's awesome. And then the Dominator setup, I mean, that could take care of anything you'd ever want to do with this car, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm using half the inputs.
That's cool. That's cool. Man, the car looks so good. That color is just right.
Yeah.
Especially on a 235 tire, man, it looks so good. I want to get back to the shot. View outside, maybe. No, I didn't put it in. It must be in the second half conversation. Man, yeah, you've had some fun for sure. Well, let's talk about other stuff. Eric, I'll let you talk for a minute.
Yeah. So, do you have any other fun cars in the garage or other projects?
I got more projects than I know what to do with. Obviously, I got the wife's car, that Mustang in that picture right there, the black one. That's the wife's car. We put it together 2 years ago now. It's this year. It's got a NA60 in it, and just something for her to have fun with. She's my co-pilot, so naturally she wanted to start racing. Hasn't done any of the big events yet. She does Redwood Rally, but I ain't ready to let her go do Rocky Mountain yet because I don't want to lose her as my co-pilot.
Yeah,
it's having someone that knows what's going on an event like that is absolutely priceless. So. Not ready to let her do one of those events. We got a 64 Buick LeSabre. It's got a stock 4.8 with a single turbo on it. It's on bags and 20-inch wires. It's got a purple flaked roof.
I knew I liked you.
I was like LS and everything.
Oh yeah.
I feel the same way.
Bunch of other projects. Got a 64.5 Mustang. Obviously, I still have that Omni. It's one of those cars that never go anywhere.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Any plans with that, or do you drive it at all?
Which one?
The Omni.
No, it is actually in timeout. So it's been in timeout for a bit. It's got the typical 80s car wiring garbage, bunch of molded plugs, bunch of wires broke at the molded plugs. So it's been in timeout until I can get a harness. I actually got an SRT4 motor for it, and as soon as I can figure out how to run it on something else, it'll probably end up going in there.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, so here's the shot of her car there. I knew I had a better picture of it, and then better shot of your car. So
nice. So her car just bone stock 6.0.
It has the the sloppy stage 2 cam in it. That's for the most part. That's it. Some home ported heads.
Nice.
She went I think her fastest on Redwood Rally last year was an 11:49.
Nice.
The car is just built wrong. We built it as a turbo car, then we decided kind of last minute to change and not put a turbo on it. So it's got a 180 glide and a 180 first gear glide and a 355 rear gear. And then she runs it on a 28-10-5. So leaving with everything we possibly can, it goes from 5,500 on the brake to 2,300.
Oh,
so it's all wrong. It's not set up right. But, she's out there. She's having fun. She's having a blast, hot lapping it, pull up to a gas pump, put fuel in it. It's a problem-free car. So that's super nice when doing these events and people are getting into it. So,
well, and when you have this car, you need this car to be. Hey, I don't want to touch it. I just want you to go make passes.
Yeah.
How fun! Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, super.
Yeah,
cool.
we don't want to turn her loose on Rocky Mountain yet in her own car because, dude, 1,300 miles can be that's for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have done several together. It's pretty awesome to see
from
you
the
guys.
beginning. She's been there from the beginning. So.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed on one of the pictures Mike had shared earlier that it looks like you were or have done one of the NHRA drag and drive events.
Yep, we've done it 23 and 24 up here in Seattle.
Gotcha. Okay. How was that?
It was fun. It's just a good time, just being there, being at the track, being at that event. The amount of people that come and talk to you because we're just different than everything there. So people just love it. Like there's just, I don't know, it's cool to be there and have people just so excited and interested in what you're doing. The first year I came rolling in, I had my trailer and I always fly 2 flags behind my trailer, and some of like the pro teams are out there taking pictures and everything. It's like, that's neat. So
Yeah. And go ahead.
I was going to say, we say all the time that that's a great event for bringing in new people. Obviously, there's tons of drag racing fans at that event that still don't know what drag and drive is. So having them to be able to come up and talk to you and understand what it is that we do and why it's so much fun is super good for the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and NHRA really takes care of folks. We did after drag week, Mike Glemmy put together one at the NHRA deal in Charlotte, and like they had a whole area where everybody worked out of their trailer and all that kind of stuff for the weekend. It was really cool to go in there and see all the folks walk by and be like, "Wait, you drove this 1,000 miles this week? What are you, crazy?"
Yeah. Yeah, Joey there, he's got the 2J240. He did the NHRA event with us, and he's call him showstopper. He did a pretty good oil down, scattered that thing pretty well.
Hey, sometimes that happens, man.
It does.
Sometimes that happens. Yeah, that's when street cars get a bad name.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like, oh man, but hey, those race cars hang it out too. That's funny. Well, all right, let's pivot just a little bit. I want to talk about some fun driving stuff. I want to hear, and I got this question from the guys over at Oil and Whiskey podcast, but what's your favorite law enforcement interaction story?
That's a tough one. I don't really know.
There's been so many.
Yeah, right. Most of them bad. That was kind of that unlucky one. So, I don't know. I'd have to say specifically with this car, one of the first times I got it out after it was painted, Stater pulled me over and comes walking up, and of course he has to give you don't have a front plate on that thing, kind of pulling that whole gig, and ended up he just wanted to look at the car. Started asking a bunch of questions about it, and that was pretty much all he wanted. So that was one of the few times I got pulled over that it wasn't very expensive.
Right? Yeah, we've lived that life for sure.
Nice. Well, another kind of random question here. What's your favorite car movie?
Favorite car movie? Naturally, I want to say Days of Thunder, but going back, I'd almost have to go OG Fast and the Furious.
Yeah,
that movie came out at just the right time. Like I wasn't quite driving yet. It was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. And you leave the theater and all the Hondas and everything are out there doing burnouts, and you're just like, cool.
Yeah, that was that was a crazy time. It was a crazy time. That movie is listed and will go down in history as one of the top movies to change automotive culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Gone in 60 Seconds is another one of my favorites.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think with like between, because that was like a whole time for automotive, that cars were cool then. That, now they're cool now, even cooler now. But is it because of that? Did it take 20 years from that and all the other car movies that have come from that, to do what we're doing now?
Yeah. And another random one that we like to ask, what's your favorite road trip snack when you're on Drag and Drive?
So when I'm on the events, even traveling on the events, whatever, my wife is what makes me eat. I am too busy and too preoccupied. So I actually had to ask her that question, and
Nice.
she told me gummy worms. That was my go-to. So
that's funny. Yeah. Melissa, the same way. She'll come up to me and she'll be like, she'll put something in my hand. Eat this now.
Yep.
Eat this now.
That's exactly. I wouldn't survive these if it wasn't for her. Drink water. Eat this. It's like, all right.
Yeah, right. Oh, how much water have you had today? I don't know if I've had any. Please drink this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's water and energy drinks, right? Somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Those are good for you, especially about 4 o'clock when you've been on the road all day in a hot car. Awesome. All right. Well, so for everybody that knows, we're going to kind of stop here with the car stuff, and we're going to move into kind of your drag and drive history after we do the ad read for Performer-Built transmissions. Mr. Eric, if you want to do it.
Yes, sir. You got a slide for it?
Probably. Hold please.
I thought that's where you were.
Yeah, there we go.
Right. Here we go. Performer-Built Transmission is the official transmission builder of Drag Drive Repeat. At Performer-Built Transmissions, their goal is to engineer and build the toughest transmissions on the planet. Performer-Built doesn't just rebuild transmissions, they systematically re-engineer each model to eliminate OEM flaws and to achieve the highest levels of performance. That's why they say their transmissions are not just built, they are Performer-Built.
I know that's right. All right. So for the folks that are just coming in or the folks that are just watching this, we have Mr. Donavan Linwood on talking about his drag and drive history. We just went over in the WAF racing segment his entire build. Like we talked about the iterations of the car. We talked about favorite law enforcement stories. You guys can go find that on another video here. But I want to talk about your drag and drive history now, man, because that's why you're here. That's why you're on the Drag Drive Repeat show, is to talk about all of that fun stuff that you've done. Because you and Marissa have been to a lot of different events. Every time I opened up a new spreadsheet, it seemed like I found your name on there. Redwood Rally, Rocky Mountain Race Week. You guys have done the Olympic Streetcar Shootout. So I want to run through a little bit of that. What got you into drag and drive, and go from there.
So actually, I think the what kicked it off was one of my good buddies lives up here, Nate Curran. He's got that Fairmont stick shift Fairmont now.
Yeah, buddy.
He asked me, he's like, "Hey, have you ever seen this race?" And started showing me videos. I'm like, "That looks cool." He's like, "We should go do it." And I'm like, "Yeah." And we signed up and took off.
That's awesome. So what was the first event you ended up doing?
It was Rocky Mountain 21, I believe.
That's cool.
21.
And living in, you said Oregon or Washington?
Sorry.
Washington, yeah. So that's a bit of a haul to get to Rocky.
Absolutely. I don't remember what the drives were. First year we went was Great Bend. That was our starting track.
Damn.
So I don't remember what the miles was on that. Now upcoming to Mega Week to Tulsa, we're at like 2,050 is the drive to Tulsa.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. The one thing that's great, big shout out to Redwood Rally for taking just a risk, man. There had never really been anything on the West Coast, and so for them to take that risk, that's a huge win for you guys, because that's just, probably a couple hundred still, but it's at least close.
Yeah, we can make it. Well, last year Medford was a start track. This year too. That's 8 hours. So.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a game changer, man.
Yeah.
So what was, or do you remember what your average was that first event that you participated in?
So first year I didn't finish. Had day one at Great Bend. I broke input shaft. So I ended up turning, I think, like a 7-second the first day. Put a spare tranny in, got on the road, went a 44, I believe, at Pueblo, and then a 43 at Bandamere, and then Kearney, I broke it pretty good. So ended there.
Was that a borrowed transmission, or did you bring one with you?
I had a spare.
Oh, wow, fun.
First year, I didn't know what to expect. I had far too much stuff. I had an open trailer, and it was heaped over my car.
What ended up causing the DNF then? Was it a transmission?
Lost oil pressure and just scattered bottom end.
Ah, yikes.
Damn. That sucks.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah, dang. Well, what all events we've talked about some of the stuff that you've participated in, but what all events have you done?
So I've done race week every year since then. 2 years of Redwood Rally, the Olympic streetcar shootout last year, and then the NHR event.
Nice.
So wanted to back up real quick. So your very first event, you broke an input shaft on day one, you DNF'd. What made you decide I want to keep doing this after that?
I don't know.
Damn you, Nate Curran.
Yeah, right. Redemption at that point. I had to finish.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I had to finish.
Yeah. That's. I would say that's probably, if somebody breaks on the first one. Jonathan Stonecipher says it all the time. You're either forever or you're a never. Like if you do one, you're either going to keep doing them or you're not ever coming back.
Oh, absolutely.
And, for a lot of folks, if they break at that first one, that's when they determine if they're a forever or never. You know. So we broke in at race week 20, and then I had to come back for 21 to get redemption, and I broke there again, didn't finish. So I'm 0 for 3 or 4 drag and drives. So I got to finish one here soon. Hopefully we'll do that this year on Mega Week. So
you talked about Drag Week, Rocky Mountain, the NHRA event. What are some of the things that you like about each one of those events? Obviously, each one is a little bit different and brings different aspects to it, but what are some of the things that you like about those ones?
So race week, obviously you'll hear it from everybody. The way that Matt and June run it, the way that it's family. It's they truly put their heart and soul into it, and the event there's nothing like that event. The way all the racers are treated, the way everything is, like Rocky Mountain is, they are the best for that. Yeah. They also, the prep there, I have none of the other events I run that prepped quite that good. Which me racing my class, obviously I'm kind of a prep diva because I have a tiny little tire and a lot of power. So that's kind of a big deal for me, but it's still fun to run the lower prep tracks. The Redwood Rally, one of the tracks that it's really one of the favorite tracks on the route is Coos Bay. It's a street pretty much.
Oh wow.
The track is not the best, but it's fun. It's just it's nice because you know what you're getting into when you go there. It's not like you show up and you expect it to be okay and it's like, what the hell? So that aspect of it's nice. Redwood Rally is that was my first event that had day drive, or it was a morning races. So that was a big change for me because Rocky Mountain was all night races, and I enjoyed that. That was a change of pace. I'm like, wow, this is actually not so bad. You race, you get to the hotel at night. It's like, all right, this is kind of nice, kind of a change of pace. So I'm super excited for that for 1.0 for Mega Week this year. I think that'll be a big change.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is you guys are going to be, I want to talk about Mega Week here in a minute, but man, Group A is it's going to be weird for Matt and June to do that and be racing here in the morning. Right. But man, you guys are you're going to be out of the way. I'm telling you, as the week goes on, it's going to be harder and harder for that evening race, that evening class.
Yep.
So Pat's asking here, are you racing morning or afternoon? Sounds like you're racing morning.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah. The Olympic streetcar shootout, that was honestly probably one of the more fun events that I've done because it was so laid back, and being someone who has done those events, like the questions I was getting from people and how I was able to help people, and give advice on road drives for people who have never really road driven their cars.
Yeah.
They're just like, this sounds fun. Let's go try it. So that was really fun. It was super laid back. It was like a cruise, like a big car cruise with a bunch of buddies. And then we had racing too. So that was a real fun way they laid that out.
Well, and they sent us over. We talked about Olympic here a little bit ago, and that was kind of the whole goal. They wanted to be welcoming. They wanted to, there's a lot of them that if you don't have, headlights, taillights, blinkers, and horn, kick rocks, bro. And they didn't want to do that. So pretty exciting for that. And they've got a bunch of cars this year signed up.
Yeah. Yep. They with Rocky Mountain bumping up, I don't get to do it this year. Lane's a buddy of mine, so I'm like, oh, come on. He's like, we didn't change dates. It's like, all right.
Yep. Yeah. Man, that's kind of becoming the hard part. All these events. We're nearing 50 events for the year. So as we end up, there's 4 that same weekend. We got Sick on the Green, Olympic, Drop the Hammer, and kicking off Mega Week. So I think by the numbers, I said 800 the other day, but I think we're probably more than that now. That drag and drive racers across the country will be making passes that weekend. It's insane, man. I love it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, are you more of a radial or a slick person?
Radial. We have a kind of an outlaw track up here out in Tootle, and it is literally just an asphalt track, and had slicks on my car out there, and one of the only times I ever ran it on slicks and spun it out pretty good. So ever since then, I like the stability of a radial. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like driving down the highway when you're on a radial like that. My car, for the most part, it's not much of a handful. Once it's up and running, it just goes straight down through. So it's nice of just cruising.
Yeah.
So with so many, like events are really kind of test and tune prep almost. So, if you, with a lot of folks in the Southeast, like Sick Week, that's a real radial rich environment for those tracks, but we don't get a lot of that here in the Midwest or the Tulsa or Oklahoma and Texas stuff. So it's interesting that you do that. How many of the 235 guys run a radial in, I guess, Rowdy Radial? What am I talking about? Everybody runs a radial. Fuck, man. Sorry. It's not radial. It's not Rowdy Slick.
I don't think we talked about it earlier, but roughly how much power does your car make?
So it was showing pretty good power this time on the dyno. It ended up making 1243.
Man, that's awesome.
And there's lots of room to grow there. We just my buddy Brady Davis, he's got the white Silverado that he built last year for race week, and he'll be back this year. Dak Tunes, we had it on his dyno, and we just we want to keep going. And he's like, there really isn't a reason. So we're just beating on it at this point. It's showing good gains every adjustment we make. He's like, just get it on the track. So
nice.
That's awesome. So with that kind of power level, obviously burnouts are, they're a major reason you make that kind of power. The car looks amazing doing burnouts too because of the flags and, man, it just, great shots.
Yeah, those are both on the national event last year.
How fun. Is this like a drive-through thing? What the heck is going on in this right shot?
So that's it's a speed shop. It's actually the shop that puts on a lot of our West Coast Garage events up here. They run most of the 8.5 Outlaw classes and whatnot. It's their shop. It's just a big pull-through shop. And of course, being inside in front of that mirror, I had to. I mean,
yeah, I don't know what it looks like when I do a burnout. I can get to watch it now. That's cool. Well, I'll flip through some of these photos here while Eric kind of runs some questions.
Yeah. Let's see here. Where are we at? So it looks like best performance you've had here is in Rocky Mountain Race Week in the Rowdy Radials in 2024 with a 5.206 average and a best ET of 5.18. So obviously you talked about wanting to get into the fours. Looks like your best drag and drive single day pass was 5.122 at Redwood Rally.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting. I know you talked about wanting to get into the fours, running plenty of 5.00s. You feel like where you're at with this combo that you're going to be able to get into the fours then?
I do. I think I could have before. This will be safer, I guess you'd want to say, a little bit more reliable doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't for, like I said, I had been a 5.0 at 147 and I'd been a 5.0 at 133. So the car had a 4 in it for sure. I could just never put it together. That's my problem,
Gotcha. What made you go with the underglow? I know there's been a couple drag and drive cars now I've seen, and it's starting to seem like it's kind of coming back. I don't know how old you are, but obviously when I started driving, that was like Fast and Furious, and underglow was huge, and then it went away, and now I know like the Miata, I forget the turtle Miata, I forget his name. He's got underglow, and they're starting to see more of them. And what made you want to go with that?
That's just me. I like bright, flashy. I like lights. That's just me. I got it on my Buick. I got it. Yeah.
Nice. I think it fits with the paint scheme. Like that picture right there looks super cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. That probably stems back from, Fast and the Furious, like you said.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I remember my first car it was, right around that time. So I'm 39 and would have been right around Fast and Furious. And I had a Civic, just like from the movies and everything. And obviously I had all that stuff in high school too. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Mustang that I have one day ends up with it too. It feels like it's just destined to happen.
I mean, why not?
Right. Yeah. Well, I want to talk about.
It's useful if you need to work on the car or something. Flip it on white, and you can see.
I didn't even think about that.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah. That's fun. Well, I want to talk about how do you keep this turbo alive down here?
It's a struggle. That is a change that I would like to make in the future is getting it up high. Initially it's like, let's put it in the fog light hole. I'm like, that'll be awesome. It looks cool down there. And then you get I need a scavenge pump, and this is a struggle. And so the car before had a problem that if it shook at all, it'd kill ignition. As soon as it kills ignition, it kills that scavenge pump, fills the turbo with oil. As soon as it refires, it looks like it's on fire. So I've got to the end of the track several times and had fire crew and everybody down there. I'm like, it's fine. My buddies at the line are always like, it's fine. It just killed itself. Not a big deal. It'll be all right.
He didn't leak any on the track. It just filled
it's fine. It'll be all right.
Do you run a filter or anything on it when you do the drives?
So I have a turbo guard for it.
Okay. And that's saved it for the most part. You've never had anything get through there. Nice.
Nope. I mean, it's got little things here and there, but nothing major. It is, like I said, it is a change that I want to make. I want to get it up and out of there because it is something that's a constant worry,
Yeah. Mine are mounted like right in each side of the fender. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a great place or not, because there's probably not going to be a lot of airflow that gets in there unless I pull headlights out or something. But I didn't want to do a scavenge pump, so I tried to find a place that was out of the way up high.
Yeah. Not having a scavenge pump would definitely be nice.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I come across that, and when I initially looked at it, I thought it was a fog light, and I was like, "Oh, there's not one on the other side." Cool stuff, man. I can't wait to see this thing again. And you guys coming all the way to Tulsa to start, man. We're gonna have a crazy week. It's the first time we're gonna be at Flying H, which I'm kind of excited about. Rocky Mountain's been to the tracks we've all visited. Flying H is such a nice track. It's going to be really interesting for everybody.
I've heard it's a real nice place. So pretty excited to see there.
Yeah. I think the photos and stuff that'll come from Flying H are probably going to be some of the best. The pits are really laid out. They're well thought out. Like, the cool thing is, if you're on the track end of it, it's actually like a whole nother set of like stands. You can just watch the cars go by. You're not out of the view of anything. You're actually up above the track looking down on it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Drag and Drive too, is just seeing the different tracks and tracks that I would never get to go to. And so that's been something that's been really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what Eric and I've talked about in the past is like how that's one of the big reasons to go on a drag and drive is you have a reason to go. Like you would never drive 2,000 miles to go race at Tulsa Raceway Park.
No,
There's not a, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but now you have that reason. And as long as you've been doing it, you have all of your race car friends that you see one time a year,
Yep. Oh yeah. I've gained several awesome friends from drag and drive events.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell the wife all the time, I was like, I'm never more than 2 hours from somebody I know.
Yeah.
Somebody can come save me if I'm on the side of the road with something I can't fix.
Right.
So Group A, man, why did you guys choose Group A? Are you just keeping your 1.0 status, or was
Yep,
it
just
like
1.0 status? And I, like I said, I want those morning races. I think that it'll be easier to deal with a cool track and hot drives than it will cooler drives, which turn into hot drives anyways, and then a hot track.
Yep. I love the night racing aspect of it because you're driving to the track like to race. So it kind of get my adrenaline higher. But man, getting out there and hopefully it's going to be in the 70s in the mornings, and then you can get your pass knocked out and then kick rocks. That would be a win for sure.
Yeah.
Well, have you heard of anybody else that signed up for Rowdy Radial? Anybody you're nervous to compete against?
I heard that. Let's see. I think Aaron Schaefer's in it again. Honestly, I haven't heard a whole lot of cars that are for sure confirmed in there.
Yeah, I know he's a hitter for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that car is impressive, especially big turbo, and then I think him moving to 235s was because he did so well with 850 stuff. He's like, I want a new challenge.
Yeah.
And now he can just let that thing hang out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So with having the 2,000-mile drive to Rocky Mountain, when do you guys leave?
We'll probably leave the day after Memorial, so that what'll be the 27th,
Wow.
I think it is.
That's awesome. Dang.
So you drive in straight through, or do you guys have stops?
No, it'll probably be a 3-day. Try to make it like Boise, Idaho area, then somewhere in Nebraska, and then day 3 should make it there.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's crazy. Yeah, so when you think about it, like Rocky Mountain's like 8 days plus the 3 there, and 3.5 home. Man, it's full 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you don't want to kill yourself on the drive over because you're going to kill yourself all week to kill yourself to drive home. So it's like,
well, and all right,
so relaxing drive.
Yeah, let's talk about the thrash that you've been doing and how much you have left, because that's one thing we talk about all the time is like people pull in and they're just completely wore out from getting the car together, no test passes, no anything. What's your next 2 weeks look like, or week and a half, I guess, probably?
Well, I was hoping to get a bunch of road testing, but looking at our weather up here, it looks like we're rain for the next 2 weeks. So we'll see how much road testing I get. Other than that, that's that. Going in the trailer and we're heading to Oklahoma.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool that you don't really have like the rear end's still not out of the car. You know what I mean? You're not trying to really thrash. You've worked your ass off to get to where you're at right now, and now it's just the fine-tuned details.
Yeah, rear end was out of the car yesterday, so there was that. Wasn't quite happy with some of how I was getting my bar angles, and wasn't quite happy with where everything was, so I decided to just take it all apart and start over.
That's crazy.
Got things a little bit more happy back there, so hopefully that'll be good.
Man. Well, Donovan, listen, I want to say thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you answering the questions, man. I know we kind of bombarded you with stuff, and again, you did great. It was awesome talking, and I don't know if you and I have ever really spent much time together during Rocky Mountain, just because we've all been so busy. But I'll definitely make my way over and say hey and hang out as much as I can for sure during the week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. All right. Well, if you'll stay with us for just a second, we're going to go ahead and close the show out, and then I do want to talk to you about a few things because I want to make sure I got all the stuff together for Rocky Mountain Mega Week.
Perfect.
All right, buddy.
Thanks.
Sweet, dude. What a fun night, man. We've had a bunch of bunch of cool stuff go on. Big shout out to Performer Built Transmission, Brian and the team over there. Man, can't thank them enough. They actually, I forgot to mention this in the opening part of their segment. They recorded their own podcast, so they're going to start recording podcasts under the Performer Built Transmission name. I haven't listened to it yet, Ryan. I promise I will tomorrow. And we'll talk about that on Saturday morning on the Drag Driver Pete News. Just because, man, I love when we see more automotive content come out. That's always a good thing, especially with a dude as smart as that guy.
Yeah, so, for sure.
All right, man. Let's end this thing. If you're all right, I'll do it.
Go for it.
Out of here, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's been awesome. Appreciate Richard coming on. This is literally last minute. I asked him at 4 or 5 o'clock today if he would come on. Donovan was, I think, yesterday or today. Asked him to come on and tell some stories. Appreciate him doing that for sure. Appreciate everybody that's made comments and shared the thing tonight, all the stuff. So we appreciate you guys being our race car friends. Again, for the first 5 people that I see or we see, if Eric can work out to get to Mega Week, we're going to give you a big hug. We're going to give you $20 in your pocket and a one-off special decal, Race Car Friends decal that you can't get, can't buy, can't do anything else. For the first 5 folks we see at Mega Week and then again at 6 Summer wearing a Drag Drive for Pete shirt. I guess of any kind of Race Car Friends or the Summit Racing branded shirt as well. We just want to say thanks, man. Appreciate you guys doing and supporting us, all the stuff that we try and do here, bring you guys all this cool content. And thank you so much to our sponsors. We can't do it without these guys. If you are, again, spending a little bit of money or just looking to do some shopping, jump over and look at what these guys have. Summit Racing, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, WAF Racing, Performer Built Transmissions, Car Chains 3D, Power Tube TV, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk Classifieds. And let's talk about what's going on. Episode 107. Going to be a crazy show, dude. I'm telling you, it's a banger, just an absolute banger. We're going to have Craven Cars. They're more podcasters, automotive podcasters, but they basically call Flying H Drag Strip home. So we're going to talk to them about what the plans are for Mega Week for Flying H, kind of what they have behind the scenes, what they're most excited about bringing 500 plus race cars to Flying H, and the things that these guys should be looking for, how to prep to be at Flying H, and then also all the other stuff that they do for automotive, content and stuff. And then we have Jamie Dollar of Low Dollar Motorsports on. He's going to give us kind of the ins and outs of the business. Low Dollar Motorsports has tons of sensors. They have all kinds of products and parts and things like that. I'm excited to have him on because, they were really one of the first inexpensive sensors that were out there, and now they're just widely used by so many different racers, especially within the drag and drive community. So I'm excited to hear kind of how they add products, how they picked products to start with, and really listen, businesses generally start because somebody gets frustrated because something's not available or what is available is not what they want. And so I'm excited to hear about all of that. And then their drag and drive history, man. They've raced a bunch. They've done a lot of streetcar stuff, a lot of drag and drive stuff. So it's going to be fun. That's episode 7. That'll be on next week, May 21st, 2025. Dude, can you believe it? We're almost halfway through the year.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. We were talking before the show about PRI and stuff, and man, it's been a crazy year so far.
Bring it on.
And June's going to be wild.
Oh, yeah. Wild for sure. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right. See ya.
Sweet.